Sunspot here with a brand new video review, and this time I'm giving you guys the N.E.C.A Thermal Vision Dutch. And I must apologize in advance for this review, for I do not have the box to Thermal Vision Dutch, because this figure is pretty old and I did throw it away. But I assure you that really doesn't take away from the real feel of the figure, of the look of the figure, because the box was exactly, if not a carbon copy of all the other Predator boxes with a different picture. That is excluding the Kenner versions, which have more of that fancy type of art on the box that resembles the boxes from the 80s and early 90s when Kenner was really big. As you can see, the face is sculpted really nicely. I mean, it looks exactly like Arnold Schwarzenegger, although since painted in a very different kind of color scheme, you can't exactly tell it's him until you get pretty close. But since this is an old model from previous Dutch figures, you could see he still has that beard texture going along his chin up both parts of his jaw. The hair is also the same. You know, it's not that different kind of hair that we got with the muddy kind of battle-damaged Dutch. Just all around it is just the exact same head sculpt, only painted differently, and it's a good paint job, don't get me wrong, but I would have preferred if we gotten a new head. Moving down, his vest is rubberized and is clear green. You can see through it is what I mean, unlike some other parts of his body that have that green paint decal. And under the vest, as you can see, is more paint. Mostly it's that bright pink with some yellow shades in there. And same goes for his neck, as you can see. His arms are actually painted differently, whereas this one has more pink and yellow, and this one has less pink and less yellow. I don't know why they went for that. I'm not really complaining. As you can see, the hands also have that pink and yellow coloring. It's kind of actually like a dirty yellow here. It's like they kind of messed up on the paint a little bit. And same with this arm. This arm's a little better than that, but that's just, you know, I don't think that was on purpose. Inside the hands are that same clear, bright green, which is kind of cool, actually. Kind of accurate. His legs are mostly that bright, clear green with a good majority of that bright pink paint. And as it runs down to his foot, it just becomes more and more yellow, which I think was kind of a cool touch. His boots do not have real laces. They're sculpted on, kind of poorly sculpted if you ask me, but I don't want to complain too much. What I really don't get is why N.E.C.A chose this really bright shade of pink instead of that glowing lava red like there was in the movie. I really don't get that, and you can see it's all over this figure. It's on his crotch, it's on his legs, on his arms, on his face, and where it really stands out is, again, the leg and crotch area. It really takes away from the feel of this thermal vision for some reason for me. That's probably just me, but whatever, you know. As you can see, the back of him is completely green. It's actually really funny to look at. I mean, I don't get why they couldn't just paint this like this side of the figure. I mean, come on, that's kind of lazy if you ask me. Now, looking at his accessories, we have two. We have this giant-ass butcher knife, even, that is that same clear, bright green as he is, and it's a really cool sculpt. It's the exact same knife we got with the other previous installments of Dutch, but you know, it's a really cool sculpt. It's pretty pointy. You know, you could pierce the skin definitely, and it has some grips sculpted on both the top of this bar and as well as the bottom. I'm not sure if you can see that on camera too well, but it is there. The second accessory that Dutch comes with is this bright clear rifle, which he uses a lot in the movie. It has a really nice sculpt, you know. It's the same as the other guns we got. The one thing I have to complain about here, though, is that this little strap that he uses to like hold it around his body did break off, which really sucks. I mean, you could... No, because this little part broke off. The hook is fine. Sometimes the hook will break, but that's just N.E.C.A being N.E.C.A. But the rest of it is sculpted really nicely. It's very accurate, and again, it's the same kind of gun. As far as articulation goes, this guy has quite a good deal. His head can move up and down, side to side, as well as rotate 360 degrees. At his arm, actually I don't want to use this arm since I can feel it's a little loose, but you know, that's N.E.C.A with their paint mess-ups and everything. So I'm going to do it on this arm, so it can go up and down, side to side. It can go 360 degrees, but I don't want to because I fear it will break since it is N.E.C.A. He has an elbow articulation that goes 90 degrees, as well as it can rotate. His wrist can go in and out kind of like this and kind of wobble side to side, but this wrist has more articulation than this one since it uses to hold the gun like this, you know, the grip and everything. So this one does have more articulation, as you can see. It's more flexible. He actually has 2 points of waist articulation. So in this upper part right here, if you can see, it's right there. It can go up and down, side to side, and wobble all around the place. And then moving to the other joint, which is where his crotch begins, it can go side to side, but no wobbling or anything. That's why we have this joint here. Now, I would show you this leg articulation since I did show you this arm, but the paint is like dried shut here, so I can't move the leg. I need to put under hot water. So I'll just show you with this leg here. So it can go up and down, side to side, has 1 point of knee articulation, which is almost a 90-degree angle, at least 80 degrees, maybe 75, and it can rotate. Oh, and one thing I forgot to mention, that the thigh can also rotate. His feet can go side to side, as well as up and down. So you can have that ankle pivot to get him into some really, really cool poses with his gun and his knife. As for size, he is not the full 7 inches as portrayed by the N.E.C.A video game Jungle Hunter, because it needs to be in scale with him. You know, in the movie, Predator was always much, much taller than Schwarzenegger, so in order to put that scale into toy form, they will need to make Dutch smaller than the average 7-inch N.E.C.A figure. All in all, I am loving this figure. I have only a handful of complaints, and my biggest one being the pink paint. I really, really don't know why they went with this bright pink and not that lava red. I really don't know why, but it's not too big of a deal. From far away, and by far away I mean atop my shelf, you could kind of tell it's red, so it's not really a big deal to me. And I just love the sculpt. I love everything about it. It's definitely a must-have, and I definitely recommend you pick up this figure if you see it. So, this was Sunspot with my review of the N.E.C.A Thermal Vision Dutch. Please like, subscribe, and comment. Comment helps me enormously. If you want me to review anything that I showed in my Collector's Museum video, please go ahead and leave the name of it, and I'll be sure to do it immediately. So, this was Sunspot Reviews. Thanks for watching.